Hi, my name's Richard and welcome back to Battleboards. This week we're going to be looking at how the Ork Fort board was put together. Okay, so the Ork Fort is obviously a Warhammer 40k board. It's a really complicated board and took quite a lot of making and putting together. Okay, I have to apologise for some of the footage you're about to see. I did have a dreadful cold at the time, so some of the footage I sounded a bit dreadful, but I soldiered on, so do bear that in mind when you watch it, and hope you enjoy the movie. So we'll have a quick look at the actual board itself. So again, all these components on this board at the moment are fixed to the board, so you don't have to worry about building any of this. It's also, if you like, the sort of deconstructed version, so there's plenty of open tops that I've finished off, so you don't have to actually use the towers. If you don't want to, you can just use the board as it is now. There's also a section that is removed around the back of the board here, so you can get access to the sort of lower level just behind the wall where there's various sniping positions. There's a breach within the wall here, so you can pass through the actual main wall itself. Just have a quick look at the various different parts you're going to need for this. So you have obviously the smaller weapons, the main boomer gun. We have two sort of catwalks that go from one tower to the others. We have the right hand tower, the left hand tower and the main tower. Another main gun turret, the lift section, the chimney for the main tower, various ladders, and this was one of the original pieces that I made. Just to get these sort of textures and things right. So this is just a small sort of mech stall. Okay, first of all we're going to put in this section in here, and this basically is magnetically connecting, so that sort of clips into that position, and then just give it a good push down and you'll find that holds firm. Okay, next we have a smaller roof section that I made that's removable. This goes in with the turret section towards the front of the board, and again there's a few magnets that just holds that in, and then this is set up as a standard sort of gun point, so I've included one of the little hatches that can just go over the top, but that can be switched out with various weapons. Okay, we're then going to move in and put some of the main towers in. This is the left hand side tower, and I've created a magnetic base for this to sit on. This means that you can use this as a piece of scatter terrain, or you can use it in various locations on the board that don't necessarily have the magnetic connections. So with this left tower, I'm just going to simply remove the magnetic base and place the tower across the skull motif, and that faces forwards, so the wooden panelling is at the back. Okay, the next thing to add is the first walkway across to from this side to the other side. Again, you don't need to use this. This can be used just as it is. So the walkway is a little bit trickier. So obviously the sort of teeth are showing forwards. The easiest way to do this is to put the right hand side in first, so that's the piece with the cutaway, and that goes towards the right, and that will slot in. Now you can see as I'm doing this, the tower's not quite in the right position, so you can rotate the tower around and slide it until it sort of locks into position. So this will sort of hold itself in eventually once you get it into the right position, and then pushing the tower from the left hand side up to the actual catwalk will actually make it fairly firm for you to be able to use. We can then move on to the main rear tower, which is a lot sort of bulkier and wider. This has a removable section here, so you can use the tower independently from the actual board, and again it has its own base. Now to remove because this is quite top heavy, I went for proper bolt fixings on the base rather than the magnetic, because the magnetic, although the catches are quite good, you only have to push down on one side and the whole thing will topple. So this has small bolts. To remove the bolts, you'll need the Allen key that I provided, and then we'll just take those bolts out. Okay, so using the Allen key, I'm just going to slip that over the hex bolt. You'll find it will sit in there vertically, and then we'll just with a few twists you'll free up the bolts. And you just need to go around all four sides and remove those from the temporary base. And you'll use the same bolts to actually secure the tower to the main board, to the main fort board. Okay, with the tower free, you can then move the tower into position over the bolt holes that are actually in the base, and the position that you want is this way around. So you've got the large hole facing the right hand tower, the left hand tower, the one at the rear, and then you've got the crane system or the pulley wheel facing towards the left hand side, or the right hand side if you were looking at it from the front. So this is just a case of putting in the bolts that you removed before. It's a little bit tricky. You just need to sort of wiggle, find the first few positions and then do them up. So if you lift it and put in the first couple, locate them, just give it a couple of twists with your fingers, you should find all the locations with a little bit of a wiggle. Just go around and then do them up. You don't want to over tighten them, just enough to make sure that it's secure. And then just as you did before, just twist them into position. So with the tower secured, you can then put in the second catwalk or walkway. Okay, this is this one. This one has a little pointy end and a half rounded end. So the pointy end goes towards the smaller tower, and the half rounded end sits inside the actual position of where the cutaway is. Remembering, of course, you don't have to use the platform. You could insert the temporary sort of barricade, and that way you don't have to use it with the actual walkway in case it gets in the way or you want to play a different scenario. So that effectively sits in there like that. Show you again from this end. So the pointed end goes in between the railing and the timber work, and then it just sits in like that, and you should find that's fairly secure. That's more than adequate to then be placing your miniatures so they can go from one tower to the next. Okay, you see from the left tower there's a main magnetic point there, so you can connect any of the weapons, the main weapons, to this point, and then just simply connect in there. We're going to leave the gun turret as it was planned for this location here, and then the smaller one also can rotate. So we have a closer look at the main rear tower. If we zoom in and actually have a look at the top. So at the top here you've got another magnetic position, so again you can place any of the weapons into this position, but it's predominantly designed for the chimney, which magnetically connects to the top as well, so you can swap those out. Okay, next we're going to put in the main lift, which is a pulley system that gets you from the lower level up to the upper level, and maybe even you'd be able to jump across to the squig pit if you're using the squig pit on this side. So the way we do that is it comes with a chain, okay, and then there's a counterbalance weight that goes on the end of the chain that connects with a magnet. So you you remove the counterbalance weight from the bottom of the chain, so you can take that off, makes it life a little bit easier, and then feed the sort of small plate down through the back, feed the chain through the back of the pulley system all the way to the bottom, and then the chain will then wrap round the actual wheel itself in between the little sort of metal plates that go round the wheel. You can then lower the chain, pulling the chain out because it now has a magnetic charge, and hook it to the actual crane itself. And using the small counterbalance, you can then connect that back to the other side of the chain. That helps pull the actual lift up and down. And then when that's all connected, you can turn this little black spindle, which will lower and raise the lift into position. So it's a bit Heath Robinson, it's a bit rustic, but that's what the Orks would have sort of come up with. It works within reason. I mean, it's Ork constructed, so it may fail at some point, but you'll be able to put miniatures, various base sizes and things on the lift, and then raise it gently to the upper level where they can dismount onto the platform. So with the pulley system being sort of cantilevered off from the main construction, I wanted to add the idea that it was being supported with some chains. So you have two chains that go either side of this, which have both got magnets in the lower section. So with these chains magnetically connect. They've got little hidden magnets in, so with a little bit of fiddling you should be able to connect both ends of the chain to the magnets, the corresponding magnets, and I think that just adds an extra little sort of feature. Okay, to add to this effect, and to add to the sort of defence of the tower, I've included some smaller weapons on chains. These connect in sort of various different places, but you'll find there's a hidden magnet under this section here. So if you just feed it up through, it will connect. And the idea being is they would, catch hold of this and swing it down, and knock other sort of attacking troops over. There's another hidden magnet on this end. This is the one I sort of made for this one, is the little tyre. So again, that just connects and swings down, and it's also a possible climbing point for the Orks to get up to this section here. And I've also included a hidden magnet point on the inside of here as well, which is just on the inside of the gate. Okay, so if you reach through, it's on the upper platform just underneath. You'll find it hanging, and again that allows them to climb up onto the secondary level there. I've also included a magnet on this end here, which can be used for some of the more eccentric weapon positions. So I've given you a variety of different ways of defending the fort. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the movie. As you can see from the movie, it was quite a task. There's a lot of pieces that have to come together to form the actual table. But I hope also you could see how the table can be or the board can be disassembled and used in a sort of simpler form. That creates different scenarios and maybe not such a fortress. So it'd be interesting to see how the client sort of plays those games through. So I'd like to again say thanks very much for watching these movies. It takes a little while for me to do them, so thanks very much for watching and for subscribing, and thanks very much for all your comments, which I love to get, and as always really excited about getting comments and try and answer them all. And we still have a few more boards to go, so check out the other Ork movies which show some of the other boards coming together, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks very much. Bye.